Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 99 of A Double and Dice. And today we're going to be doing a affiliated team building for an awesome cause that's coming up. And that is, Jocelyn?
It is cancer. It's for cancer.
Yes, we like to kick it in the butt.
That's cancer research. It's not actually for cancer. It's actually against cancer. It's money to support killing cancer.
Yes. And how are we doing that?
Because we're going to support Dice Masters versus Cancer.
And what's that?
It's an online Dice Masters tournament being held by our friends over at the Ministry of Dice, Chris and Andy, and they've been involved with Dice Masters versus Cancer for a number of years. Since the pandemic, they've been holding it online, which allowed them to get worldwide participation, and they raise money for Cancer Research UK. So if you're interested to learn more about that, and if you want to donate, even if you cannot play, you can go over to britroller6.com for all the deets.
Yeah, and we'll link that in the show notes. So today we decided to build a team for DM versus C or VC. And we're randomly, well, I'll go through the team building format, but we're actually going to randomly do this. So we'll give you all the details of when all this is happening at the end. But the team building format is golden single affiliation.
So many cards.
Yes. So many cards, but it's restricted by one affiliation, though. But it's opened up to everything.
Still so many cards.
So our prerequisites are we can't use villains. Easy enough. So nothing with the villain affiliation on it. Basic actions must come from the IP that we choose for our affiliation.
So I can't put a DC basic action on a Marvel team.
Correct. Just like you can't put a DC basic action on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle team. Matt.
What if I have the Mystics affiliation, Kim? Because the Mystics affiliation crosses Marvel and DC.
All right. I believe he talks about this. Oh, did he? Or did he not?
I'm pretty sure he did because he talked about it on the podcast. Spoiler.
Yeah. But funny enough, I don't see it written here.
Maybe they haven't decided.
Maybe. Action cards are permitted only if they are have a clear affiliation on it. I think I only know of one that has an affiliation on it. But if the non-basic action card has an affiliation and you're using that affiliation, it can be used.
Okie doke.
Flip cards are permitted, but must start the game on the correctly affiliated side. So if you're doing, I don't know, Batman, it has to start on Batman. Some of them have the villains on the other side. So if you do flip it, it is allowed.
It's just a loophole.
Yeah. What did they say about the Mystics? I swear I saw this somewhere.
I know they talked about it on the podcast. I just don't remember what they said.
And I thought I saw it written somewhere, but maybe not. What did they say about Mystics on the podcast?
I don't remember. That's the problem. Oh. I just remembered that they said they were going to have a rule.
Okay, so maybe they haven't come up with it yet.
Yep. They also said that if a card has multiple affiliations, like Villain and Brotherhood of Mutants, for example, and your team is Brotherhood of Mutants, you can use that card, but it's the Brotherhood of Mutants you're using, not the Villain affiliation.
That's correct. And you can't use non-affiliated, so you can't have like all non-affiliated, which means they have nothing on their card.
Well, yeah, because that's not an affiliation. Not affiliated is.
It's been asked.
I understand. It's
clarifying.
I understand it's been asked. I'm on board with the clarification. I'm not objecting.
So yeah, I don't know. I assume this is me assuming, but I don't know. I guess they haven't made their decision yet about the Mystics. But if you go with Mystics, I think you just have to pick DC or Marvel. I assume
you probably can't cross the.
No, you can't cross it. Yeah, but you can pick one or the other, DC or Marvel. So
But we're not sure. So if you're actually choosing to build a Mystics team, please reach out to Chris or Andy and find out the answer. Probably Chris, because Andy doesn't answer his Discord messages.
And there is a channel in the Dice Masters Discord for this as well. So you can
join Dice Masters online if you're not there already.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there are some band cards. Ready?
Ready.
Your favorite hope card.
Thank goodness. Pluripotent Echopraxia is banned. # ban hope. It worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
So
She's
cannot
banned.
use hope. She is, I believe, an X-Men affiliated.
Yes, she is. She ruins everything.
Yep. Yonti, pureblood, epic humanoid.
That makes sense.
Yeah, which is, I think she's a. Is it a monster?
She is a monster. Yep.
Yep. And then you have Beholder.
Which one?
Master Aberration.
Master Aberration. Okay.
Yeah. Hulk, Green Goliath.
Yeah, that makes sense, just because he's a big bruiser.
Black Widow, Serena. Wait, is that how you say it?
Yes, that is.
Yeah, okay.
You said it correctly. High fives, Kim.
Ta Serena.
The T is silent.
Yeah, I know. I had to think. There's been a while since I've used her card, but I used it recently. But
I've never used that card because I don't own it.
Brainiac, get inside your head, which I think has something to do with breaking affiliations. I feel
seems reasonable to ban it.
Yeah. So, just out of curiosity, though, I do want to look it up and see. I'm pretty sure get in my head. When Brainiac is active, only one opposing character for each affiliation must attack that each turn. So yes, totally shuts it down.
Yep.
And then Black Panther, resisting doom. I have no idea what that does.
That's the super rare Black Panther with the Fantastic Four alternate win condition. They talked about that on the podcast. Yeah.
It's so slow though.
Well, in Golden it might not be because you have access to the Fantastic Four from Avengers vs. X-Men.
Yeah, I guess
so. That could change the process.
Yep. So those are banned, and we are going to build a team. But how we are going to build a team is we are going to randomly select an affiliation.
Dun, dun, dun. How are we going to do that, Kim?
Okay. So I counted, and there is 67 affiliations right now on the Dice Coalition building website.
Okay.
Jocelyn is going to roll a D67.
That's right. I'm going to do that. You know how we do that? We use a dice bot. Because a dice bot will roll any type of die you want, even one that doesn't exist, like a D67. So I am going to go over to the Dice Station Zebra Discord because we have a dice bot installed there. And right now I am typing in /R for roll and summoning the Dice Maiden. Okay, there it is.
D67.
Okay, ready? 1D67.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. 23.
Okay. So 23 is.
What's 23, Kim?
1. I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3.
Great podcasting.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'll give you a guess. What IP do you think it is? 23 out of 67. Where do you think?
Is this like a 20 questions thing? Do I start asking yes or no questions until I get there?
I'll ask you probably, depending on your answer, there may be a follow-up question.
Is it a comics related IP?
Yes. Just give me the universe.
Marvel. DC Comics.
Yes.
Woohoo!
All right.
50% of the time. She's right.
It's from DC.
Time. Okay.
Do you want to take a random guess? What do you think it is?
It's from DC. It's going to be Batman.
No. So what we rolled, number 23, is the JSA.
Really?
Yes.
That is not a great affiliation.
I know. So we are going to make this work. All right. So there are 19 cards total, and there are only 6 characters.
Okay.
Okay.
JSA.
JSA.
All right, let's get there. I'm trying to pull up JSA on the team builder, but I don't even see it.
It's right next to Justice League. It's the little yellow blue.
For some reason, I'm not getting the symbols on mine.
Oh,
I just have the letters.
Weird.
These are sets. That's because they're not affiliations. Don't mind me. Hey, look, affiliations. There it is. JSA. Got it. Okay, I'm here. 19 cards.
All right. So, shall we go through each character since there's not much to go through, and we can go through the cards, and I guess we're building 6 characters because we're gonna have to pick one of these. So...
Okay, let's do it. So, I can start.
Sure.
So our first character comes from the Justice League set, which is a very, very old set, and that is Black Canary. So Black Canary is a 0/2/2/0/3/2 and a 1/4/4, and of course there's 3 rarities. We have uncommon, rare, and super rare. So we recently talked about these cards because Black Canary was on our previous podcast.
Right. Did we pick any from this set? Probably not.
No, I don't think so. No. So the uncommon crime fighter, the 4-cost fist, when fielded, no sidekicks can block this turn. I mean, could be reasonable.
Yeah.
Depending on what your opponent plays, sidekicks are very powerful in Golden because of the ally keyword. Allies are sidekicks in the field, so that's something. Black Canary, Canary Cry, 4-cost fist. When fielded, you may roll an opposing character. If it is a character face, return it to the field. If it's an energy face, add it to your opponent's prep area. So it's good, 50-50 removal. And then Dinah Laurel Lance, 3-cost fist. When Black Canary attacks, you may pay a bolt to prevent a target character from blocking this turn. None of those are win conditions.
No. So we can keep reading and see if we maybe have a win condition we could build around.
Yeah, I sorted them alphabetically. You probably figured that out.
Yes, I did too.
Okay.
The next one is Green Arrow. Green Arrow from this is also from the Justice League set. He's a bolt character. So the first one, he's a 1/4/1, a 1/5/2, and a 2/5/3. So a little heavy on the level 3 fielding, but these are all common cards. So I assume they came in the starter box. Yeah. So his first one is a 4-cost. When fielded, Green Arrow deals 2 damage to up to 2 target characters. So if you want to ping off his sidekicks or up to 2 target characters, or you can do 2 damage to 1.
To each, it says. So both of them would take 2 damage.
Yep. So you can get rid of a couple things there.
A couple things, yep.
The Battling Bowman. Oh, that one was Oliver Queen. When fielded, spin an opposing character character down 1 level, if possible. That was also 4-cost. 5-cost, the Emerald Archer.
I'm going to tell you right now, we're not playing that one.
Which one? The Emerald Archer?
Yeah, read it.
When Green Arrow attacks, deal 1 damage to your opponent for each opposing character with a villain affiliation in play. But if there's a basic action that gives a villain affiliation,
that feels like it's cheating on the rules.
It depends how competitive you want to be. But that would be a question you would need to ask.
Yeah, the only other thing would be the flip cards, right? Those Batman flip cards, if they flip to the villain side. But it's a very niche thing in a format where villains are not permitted. So
yeah, unless you can give it. That's the only thing. And the last one is Former Mayor, 4-cost. When Green Arrow is fielded, deal damage equal to twice Green Arrow's level to target character.
So 2, 4, 6.
Yep.
Interesting. Sticking on the Justice League theme, as I don't think we have a winner here yet.
Nope.
We are on to Hawkman. So Hawkman has a common, uncommon, and a rare. And his first one is called Thanagarian, 4-cost bolt. Hawkman cannot be blocked by fist or shield characters. Stats on Hawkman are 0, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 4. There's not a lot of stats here, Kim. I'm feeling very bad about this decision.
We said we're going to do random.
We did say we're going to do random. The uncommon is 3-cost bolt with subtitle World's Fiercest Attacker. When blocked, Hawkman deals 1 damage to an opposing player. So I guess if you could force someone to block him, you could, like, in 20 turns...
ping it off.
I guess it's a when blocked, so that would trigger per die. So if you can get multiple in the field and force multiple blocks...
I don't know if DC has any basic actions that force block. Well, we'll be looking anyways, so...
that's the closest thing that we have to a win condition so far. And then the rare is Carter Hall 4-cost bolt. Whenever Hawkman is blocked, add a die from your bag to your prep area. All right, so should we continue, Kim?
So next is Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick is from the Green Arrow and Flash set. He has a common, an uncommon, and a rare. His common is okay, so I guess we should do... He's a 1... This is terrible. He's a 0-1-5, a 1-2-6, and a 2-4-7.
Do we even want to read it?
What? His abilities? We have to read his abilities. Okay, so his common is a 4-cost. He's he's
a
crossover
type of... He's a crossover character. He's a bolt. He's a bolt shield.
Yes.
He's extra hard to purchase.
Not really. You could totally roll that. So he's his first one is a lead foot.
Famous he has last word, Kim.
Synergy. Synergy is abilities can be used while the character is active. Anytime you can use a global ability, you use their synergy ability. His synergy ability is while he's active. When your opponent uses a global ability, you may pay bolt or shield to cancel that ability. His uncommon, Crimson Comment, Cross Pulse. Okay, so Cross Pulse, you can only use the Cross Pulse ability if you pay this character's purchase cost using only their energy type. So you have to use Bolt and Shield.
And nothing else.
To purchase. Once you purchase it, then his Cross Pulse ability goes off. Correct?
That's right.
Which is when you purchase a Jay Garrick die, all your character dice in the field zone gain fast.
Until end of turn.
Yes. So fast, our characters deal damage, combat damage, before your non-fast characters.
I would like to recommend
something. Yes?
That nobody picked the JoceStitch ability.
Hey, I'm going to put it out there. If someone picks our team or picks JSA and uses it, I will give them a prize.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
Guardian of Keystone City. Hey, these are like my type of affiliations. I picked the dumbest affiliations to play in these things. Maybe I will play it. Guardians of Keystone City. While Jay Garrick is active, the first time you field a bolt or shield character, which we have pretty much all bolt characters on this affiliation, each turn, you may take 1 damage and move a die from your use pile to the prep area. I don't know about that.
And you get to do 2 dice if the character is a bolt and a shield like a Jay Garrick.
Okay, I'm feeling the next one might have a win condition in it. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Keep going.
Okay. So let's continue with Red Tornado. Red Tornado.
Sounds like a Torontonian.
Ronian is the first one. 3-cost bolt, and he's blank.
Mm-mm.
His stats are 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 6.
That might not be bad, because if you can buy a bunch of him and somehow clear out your
cost,
clear the field, though.
Okay, let's see what happens when we get to his uncommon. Lab Creation, 4-cost bolt. While Red Tornado is active, once per turn, if you draw 3 or more sidekicks during your clear and draw step, you may put all the sidekicks in your use pile and draw 4 new dice. Okay. Android, rare, 4-cost bolt. Once during your turn, you may spin down Red Tornado 1 level. If you do, the next time you use an action die, add it to your prep area instead of putting it into your use pile. So, Kim, let's continue.
Last one, Stargirl from the Justice League set. Her stats are 0, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 5. She's got a common, an uncommon, and a rare. Her common, Courtney Whitmore. While Stargirl is active, your psychics get +1A and +1D. Uncommon, Yankee Poodle Fangirl. That's an interesting name. Forecast. Whenever exactly 1 damage will be dealt to a psychic, you may redirect it to Stargirl. Okay, so if you don't want to ping off your psychics, I guess. Right, ping off your psychics. And last is Star Spangled Kid. When Stargirl damages a villain, this is not going to work, you may take a psychic from your use pile and field it.
Okay, so let's figure out how we can make this work, Kim. It's going to have to work through basic actions. We're going to need a win condition and a basic action if we're going to do this.
So let's go to our basic actions for DC then.
There are 74. So we can't read them all.
No. But I know Betrayal is usually a good one.
Betrayal reads, deal 1 damage to target opponent for each character die in their field zone. On the double burst phase, if Betrayal did at least 2 damage, put this die in your prep area. So that does damage directly to your opponent, so that's good. Of course, you have anger issues. Target character gets +3 attack and overcrush this turn. So you could just work on one of those like cheap bruisers. Like there was some that had decent attack stats. Make it a +3 to overcrush.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There was another one. I don't know. Well, Shockwave is quite expensive. It's 5. But you KO all level 1 characters. If you land on the bursts, you deal 3 damage to an opposing player.
Okay, I found the force block.
Oh, okay.
It's Doomlance.
Oh.
Choose one of your active character dice. Only that character die may attack this turn. All opposing character dice must block this turn if able. When an opposing character die is KO'd this turn, its controller loses 1 life. So, which was the one, Kim, that did that damage?
I can't remember.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that, but there's that. The other thing you could look at is unblockables. We talked about Overcrush, but you have Dimension Door. Target character die you control cannot be blocked until end of turn. So if you run Dimension Door and you've got like whatever, those...
You could do a cheap red tornado, which has a very high...
decently high attack stats.
Yeah, higher than most of all the other ones.
Let's see. Dimension Door is a 4 cost.
I feel there was another one, but maybe not in the DC world. I'm scrolling, but I can't see. So we have some options.
Scrolling.
Do we need prep? We need res. Or thrown brick. Or...
Thrown brick is always good.
Villainous Pact.
But the other thing to remember is that not only are we building a team, we also have to potentially control against somebody else's team. So if we want to attack, we don't want like a distraction or anything like that on here. I don't know if distraction exists in a basic action in DC. But we might want removal, so there's misdirection, which is a 2 cost. Swap target active character die you control with a character die in your use pile. Place it on the same level. Oh, that only works for you. That doesn't work for your opponent. Never mind.
If you're doing like Dimension Door, it's either Dimension Door or Doom. What was it called?
Doomlance.
Doomlance.
Here's one that I'm not familiar with. Pick your battles. Each of your characters can only be blocked by opposing characters of the same energy type. And your sidekicks can only be blocked by sidekicks.
That's interesting. I've never even heard of that one.
It's a Justice League one. And what's interesting about that one is, as you mentioned, Kim, most of the JSAs are bolts. So what are the chances your opponent's running team that also has bolts on it?
It's going to be very slim.
Yeah. There's Ping from Justice. Deal 1 damage to target opponent on the burst phase. Also, this die has Boomerang.
The only thing is, they'll buy it off you too.
Well, you got to buy it early.
Buy all of them? They'll buy at least 1 on their turn if you go second. Actually, I like that. Pick your battles.
Pick your battles sounds fun. Oh yeah, static field has removed target attacking character die from combat. I knew there was one in there somewhere. Shockwave, you already mentioned that. I'm going to assume that suffering and satisfaction basic action will probably make the ban list after this episode. Choose an affiliation. Target character die with that affiliation gets plus 2A, and a different target die with that affiliation gets minus 2A. You may only use this action if 2 dice in the field zone have the same affiliation. I mean, I guess you could still use it.
Yeah, I mean, you're boosting one, but you're losing on another.
Yeah, and it's you do it to yourself or your opponent, but you can't do it to both. I mean, I guess you could target character die, different target character die. Anyway. Kim, you know what we can't play?
What's that?
One of your favorites.
Team up? I know.
Yep.
I say we pick your battles.
Let's do it. Let's pick our battles.
And then do we want to prep for the second one?
Well, there was some potential prep within the format. But if you want bag control, you could put Resurrection on there.
Or Throne Brick. But then you got to buy it.
Are they going to ban Villainous Pact?
I don't know.
Your opponent chooses one non-villain character. All other non-villains cannot block this turn.
Yeah, that should technically be banned.
I'm not supporting any bans aside from Hope. Ban Hope. But, whatever they want to do, it's their event.
So we're going with Res then?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to go with Resurrection and pick your battles.
Okay. Switching back to our affiliation characters here.
Pick your battles, Kim. Pick your battles.
Each of your characters can only be blocked by opposing the same. Okay, so all of them are bolts except Black Canary.
Okay. We should tell them what Resurrection does.
Oh, right. Resurrection is roll a die from your use pile and place it in your reserve pool. But what we're looking at is the global, which is pay a shield once per turn on your turn and draw a die from your bag and prep it.
Well, we don't have to play Black Canary.
No, it doesn't have to be on the team. But, wait, what did that one say? You can kind of do Black Canary uncommon where you don't allow the psychics to block.
Let's throw her on the team.
But that has to come up the same time your pick your battles comes up. Because she's a win fielder, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll run that. So then where was our thing that was almost a win condition?
Wasn't that
Green Arrow, former mayor? When Green Arrow is fielded. No, that wasn't it. Deal damage equal to twice Green Arrow's level to a target character. So that's going to get stuff.
So you're either doing, was it 2, 4, 6? So
yeah, you might be able to KO something.
Yeah.
You could also.
The spin down's meh. I mean, the up to 2 damage. Sorry, deals 2 damage to up to 2 characters is not bad either.
What also could be useful is that pick the battles might need to cycle, right? So Red Tornado Androids is once during your turn, you may spin Red Tornado down 1 level. If you do, the next time you use an action die, use it to add it to your prep area instead of the use pile. So if you get Red Tornado in the field and he's on a level 3 or level 2, you can spin him down when you use the action die. And then you get to put your pick of your battles back in the prep area.
Yeah, that might work. That's the rare android.
Yeah. Should we put the Stargirl Courtney Whitmore to give your sidekicks +1 attack and +1 defense?
Yeah, because if they end up going through.
Yeah, which they might.
Yeah. If you got if everything lines up, it can happen.
Okay, so we've had a black canary. Let's pick a green arrow. We've got 4 options.
I'm either thinking Oliver Queen or former mayor. Each of them almost do the same thing, but you're restricted to 1 character on former mayor, but you can do 2 characters with 2 damage on Oliver Queen.
Yeah, but you get more. Damage out of. You could get more damage out of former mayor
if you land on 3
or 2,
but it's only once, right? It's 1 character.
Right. It's only 1 character, but not a lot of characters have 2 defense, Kim. Right? If you're trying to clear out the opponent's side or get rid of a big blocker, a big beefy blocker.
I mean, it says how Green Arrow Oliver Queen reads, deal 2 damage to each of up to 2 target characters. Can you not target the same character?
No, 2 damage to each. So you cannot target the same character.
They're both the same cost.
I think it's situational. I think you could decide what works better with your playstyle. For me, I would go to the bigger removal with the double the damage to a target character personally, but I see where you're going as well with the 2 damage to each of 2 target characters, because then that way you can maybe get rid of some sidekicks. But if we've got Black Canary that prevents sidekicks from blocking, and our sidekicks are 2s because of what did we put on there? Stargirl. Then we're going to be able to KO sidekicks anyway.
I'm wondering if we changed Black Canary to the re-rolling one. No, I think the sidekick's not blocking is better, actually, if you bring out. I'm good with either. You pick.
Let's come back to it.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to Hawkman. Because I'm kind of actually leaning. I'm in 2 spots. Hawkman cannot be blocked by fist or shield characters, so that means it can only be blocked by bolts, masks, or sidekicks. Or when blocked, Hawkman deals 1 damage to an opposing player. That's where I'm at. Which one of those?
So think this through. So with pick your battles. And only a bolt can really block him. So really, Tangarian
is useless. Yeah. So we go with world's fiercest attacker then.
Because a fist can't block anyways. A shield can't block anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming we're probably going to want these guys sitting until pick your battle comes.
Yeah.
So when blocked, deal 1 damage to an opposing player. Cut 3 costs. Done. Next, Jay Garrick. We don't have to choose any of this.
Well, I guess it depends. Do we want to give them fast in case they can be blocked, or do we want the prep? The first time you field a bolt or shield character die, you may take 1 damage and move a die from your use pile to your prep area.
We're taking your damage, and cross pulse happens only when you purchase it. So it's almost like you have to make that. You have to make that purchase at the right time.
Or you go with the Leadfoot with the synergy. When he's active, when your opponent uses a global ability, you can cancel it.
And if you're holding bolt or shield,
hold bolt or shield. Answer the question. Solved. Or do you want to skip him? He's the final decision we have to make before we argue over Green Arrow again.
The first time you feel the character each turn, you take a damage. You may take a damage. Okay, so let's think. How many global abilities are we going to see in Golden?
A lot.
Cancel and none of these
ability.
Yes.
Sold. Okay, so we're back to our question about Green Arrow. Do we want to go with 2 damage to 2 characters or twice his level?
And Golden is so interesting because it can...
Because it's anything. Everything's in Golden.
Do you have a coin? Do you want to flip it?
It's crazy that you asked that because I spent all afternoon flipping coins because I was playing Two-Face on HeroClix with Rob. And he has a coin flip ability. I do not have a coin, but I could roll a die.
2?
Well, yeah, let's do it.
All right. So 1 is Oliver Queen. 2 is former mayor.
All right. Rolling 1d2. 2.
Former mayor. 2.
How much for the double and a donut, Kim?
2.
Former mayor it is. Okay. So we have a 6-character team, which is completely legal. They're all JSA affiliated. We have a win condition in Pick Your Battles.
Yes.
And stats on these are pretty reasonable. The only concern I really have is that fielding cost on Red Tornado.
Yep.
And we've only brought 1 global ability, which allows us to fix our bag, which is the Resurrection Global.
Yep. Now, the only thing into going first is there's only 1 character we can buy.
Minor detail.
And there it is. So very random, interesting affiliation we get with JSA.
If you were going to pick one as opposed to being random, what would you have picked? Because I'm pretty sure JSA wasn't it.
No. Or would you have picked different characters than us?
No, I'm asking you specifically.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
If I was picking JSA... Sorry, say it again.
If you were picking an affiliation as opposed to going randomly, what would you have picked?
Shall I let you in a little secret?
Sure.
I already built my team for this event.
I figured. That's not a secret, Kim.
Do you want to guess what affiliation it is?
Oh, I can't guess right now.
Okay, I'll give you... Well, you know which
it's
IP DC. I'm going to choose.
It's got to be DC.
Yes. Actually, I was on the fence between actually making a Turtles team.
Oh, Kim.
I did not.
To you.
I did not. So I went with DC, and I went with I am Batman.
I thought that you would have gone with Warhammer, so you could have played Orbital Strike.
I thought about it, and I said to myself, I always play Orbital Strike. I went back to honestly, I went back to Dice Masters, I went back to the Cancer. I went back all to the team lists. I actually did this. I went through their website, Brit Roller 6. I went to each team list from back in the years, and when I started playing was probably 2001. And they were all
2001.
I think so. When I started playing in this event,
Dice Masters didn't come out till 2014.
No, playing in the Dice Masters versus Cancer events, 2021.
Oh, 21.
Yep. Did I say 2001?
No, yes.
I meant the events.
13 years before the format was released.
Yes, I see the future. No, but I think I was looking at the team list and they're all Orbital Strike.
That's hilarious.
So I said to myself, don't do Orbital Strike this time. So fair. I decided to do Batman.
No.
And I won't tell you what is on my team, but I'll tell you the affiliation. Now, whether I go with it or not, we'll see.
You have lots of time to change your mind.
Yep. We have tons of time. But yeah, you never know. And you know what? For the heck of it, we do have a WDA that we're going to be practicing for Dice Master versus Cancer. I'll play the GSA.
You go, Kim. You play that team.
But yeah, we will put this link out in our show notes. And if you could have picked anything different for this team, let us know.
I think most of the feedback we're going to get is that they wouldn't have picked JSA.
Well, we're not picking it. We randomly picked it. We thought this would be fun to randomly pick an affiliation and see how we can do with the best of it.
I'm having fun. Aren't you having fun?
Yes. When you rolled the die and I looked at what 23 was, I'm like, okay, this is going to be quick.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Nope. So yeah, there we go. And this event actually is in it's in November in a few weeks. It's coming up quick. November 18th, I believe.
That's really soon.
Saturday, November 18th. Yes.
Super soon.
Yeah. So when you sign up on Challenge, I believe you donate through there because it is a $10 pounds.
£10. You don't pay on Challenge. I can tell you that.
Okay.
You have to sign up somewhere else to pay because Chris found this charity website that waives the processing fees for the credit cards and waives their own cut. So you can actually choose to pay your own processing fee for the credit card. So that the company doesn't have to pay it and all the money goes directly to the charity. So I can't remember what it's called, but the information.
Collective.
That's the one.
Collective, yes. So you sign up on Challenge and then right away go to the site and then you put your donation. Yeah, all the information's on the site. Again, we'll link it. But it is a $10 entry fee.
That's right.
And
can I tell you something super awesome?
Mm-hmm.
I know there's gonna be really amazing prizes.
Because you already know the pricing?
I know some of the pricing.
Did you make some of the pricing?
I will confirm nor deny that I'm creating dice bags for the pricing.
Bags. There's an S at the end of that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I said nothing. I don't know. I was muted. Did you even hear me say anything? What's going on?
I don't know.
So there you go. So that's our team for the Justice Society of America. I knew that. I didn't have to look it up, FYI.
I can remember. I would have kept saying JSA, so I can remember.
Justice Society of America. So yeah, that's our team. Let us know what you think. Give it a try. I'd love to hear how it goes in WDA, Kim.
I will do it. I believe I own.
You don't have to threaten me. I know you will.
All of them, except maybe Red Tornado, Star Girl. Actually, half the team I might not own, but I might have the dice. So I might have the dice. It's fine.
You're hilarious. All right. Well, there you go. So on that note, Kim, should we jump over to the dice bag?
The dice bag, yes.
Excellent. So we are going to start with the dice bag, and we actually got a whole heck of a lot of feedback right after the episode dropped. So first thing I want to share is we got an email from our friend Andy May. He emailed us at triple-d-podcast@dm-north.com. And the title of the email was, "You totally pronounced Minnetonka correctly," with a double exclamation point. It's a Sioux word. Minna is water and Tonka is large, important. The translation seems to be great water. Thank you for spending a bit of time describing the event. I'll let you know how it goes. And that is the Dice Masters versus Cancer. No, that is the Extra Life event at Games by James in Minnetonka, which happened before this episode was recorded, but we have not heard the results yet. I did hear that everyone had a good time. So hopefully it was good and they raised a lot of money for charity.
Cool.
Then we got a bunch of feedback on the Discord. If you wanted to join our Discord and join the live conversation, you can head over to the dmNorthTV Discord, which the link will be in the show notes, and join in on the conversation in the A Double Double and Dice podcast convo chat channel. And Chris, aka True Mr. 6, from Brit Roller 6 and Ministry of Dice, says, as a proven expert in the French language, now he's British, just putting that out there, he can confirm that I said 98 correctly. 99. 98. 19 would be 19. 98. And I said my grade school français back in full force. Now, Catarix, as a French native from France, confirms the number and pronunciation were correct. 98. But I said my accent was still not great. And Catarix included a link to a YouTube channel that said about French accents. And he says, every accent has a lovely sound. So that was very kind. I know my accent is awful. Jackalope Span Nick jumped in and said, as a math person, I question the logic of why French seemingly uses a base 20 instead of 10. So I love how this entire conversation is about my pronunciation of 98 in French. And And then Laurier, who is also French speaking, jumped in, CCM quadruple 7. You're not the only one. While most places use French as described, in fact, 20 is not always the base. 70 is actually 60-10 or 70, which is correct. This is not universal. Acadians, francophones from further east in Canada, such as New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, will actually use what's known as the Swiss style, where 70, 80, and 90 will be septant, octant, and nonantant. Nonant? And octant is sometimes huitant. I understand Belgium, or at least parts of it, does the same.
Okay.
So I was not familiar with that. I know that growing up in school, the French that I took was France French. So
really? It wasn't?
Yeah. It is not Canadian French. It is not Quebec French. In the public school system, when I was growing through it in Canada, we were taught France French.
I wonder what they teach now.
Well, you'll have to find out from Noah.
I guess during teacher conference, the last question we're going to ask is, so do you teach Francais? French France? France French?
Or Canadian French. And Canadian French is different depending on if you're in Quebec, because there's what they call Quebecois, which is a different there's a different slang or whatever. Apparently this Acadian French, which I've heard of Acadian, but I didn't realize that it was a different French entirely. And then in high school, I remember we did a whole semester on Louisiana French, which is where I learned my most favorite French word on the face of the planet.
You can't say it, or should we beep that?
No. Wawaro. It means bullfrog. Wawaro. I don't know why. I just love it. I love the way it sounds. It's just the way it comes out of your mouth. Wawaro. It's just, I don't know, something about it. Anyway, so Catarex says that Belgians stayed with the base 10. So 60, 70, octant, nontant, but French people still like to complicate things.
Seems so.
And then Nick, because he's a math guy, if you don't know this, Nick is a math guy. He says English does this up to 20 as well, and then resets with 20 and 1 to 9, then 30 and 1 to 9. He says that his French skills from high school are admittedly very limited, but to no surprise, I focused on the numbers. Interesting, though, that some non-French French speakers use more of a base of 10 system of numerals. So anyway, it is very interesting when you start thinking about language. So maybe, if we have no Dice Master stuff to talk about, we can talk about French.
French. So, I have homework. I got to find out from his teacher, which is a couple of weeks, what French they speak, what French they teach.
Yeah. We also heard from Matt, right? Matt Brewer. Mm-hmm. And he said, listening to episode 98 right now, this is a Comics Mike patented live comment. He says, please, he's begging with us, Kim. All caps. Please don't over-research your topics. I absolutely love the fact that you guys talk about things outside of your expertise. It's a genius way to improve engagement, and I find myself constantly shouting corrections when I'm listening. You prove Godwin's law in every episode, which states that the best way to get correct information is to post incorrect information and wait for a know-it-all to correct you. He continues with, you guys put out an amazing podcast, and I hope you don't feel the need to improve. Cheers to a wonderful, comfy listen every episode, and I hope there are 100 more. So thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
I appreciate that. So that was all from our podcast channel.
Yeah.
On dmNorthTV. So big conversation about French, and there you go. This episode is 99. And now we heard also on Discord, I got my typical patented at message from Jackalopes Band Nick, and he says, team brews are always great, better if you can get different perspectives too. So time for some unsolicited advice, haha. He says fiends are fun. There's also a pretty good Baylor and Aranese that help get more fiends into the field. That's for sure true. I know that the team that Rob played with fiends when he played it with me at the store was definitely had both of those characters on it. He says that cloud kill is absolutely brutal. I think it was part of some half-elf bard teams. He says, I think Kim's team might have had trouble, though, if all her characters want to be blocked. The opponent could choose not to block, or when forced, block only one. Something like Cloak of Elvenkind, gear that gives infiltrate, might help a lot. Going out of set, Booker T's lets you pick who your opponent blocks. Otherwise, I might choose one of those characters to focus on and then pick others for diversity.
I don't remember my team.
Well, you did have a very specific theme.
I can
see where Nick is coming from here, because if you do go too much all in on one strategy, if something happens and that strategy doesn't happen, you don't have a pivot, right?
Sure. Just try to push with damage.
Yeah. Always also an option. And then he commented on my team that I took to the Ottawa event. Also hilarious. You forgot Super Rare Thor. That's where I figured you'd go. It seems to be one of your modern favorites. I didn't forget it. I thought about it. I just played it a lot. So I was like, I'm going to play something different. And also I wasn't sure exactly where it was. So there was that. We also heard, we had a very lot, like I told you, we had a lot of feedback. We heard from newer listener Darren on, I believe this is from the YouTube. Is that correct, Kim?
Yes.
So he says, I swear you folks at dmNorthTV are reading my thoughts. One of the themes or ideas I had for a Dice Masters cube was based on the D&D sets, focusing on dragons and other iconic D&D monsters. I think I might have tried building it by now if the Dice Masters secondary market was in a more healthy place. I have found it wanting, especially in the UK. I'm going to have to go back through old episodes to see which of my suggestions you did a series on. Love the episode. So thank you so much for that. And I think
that's it.
That's all of the feedback we had. We had email, we had Discord messages, we had YouTube. We had a great conversation about the French language. Like, what more can you ask for in a podcast? Right? Exactly. There was one other thing I think that popped up, but I don't remember where it happened. But I think it just recently, there was something that came up about there's been someone posting in the Discord lately, Red 171. Have you seen this?
Mm-hmm.
And Red 171 introduced themselves as Robin from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Robin from Australia. Happy to have you. I believe that there was a comment somewhere about,
yes, in our general chat. Yeah.
In the general chat, that they are currently working through the back catalog. So I wonder if Robin is the one that has been downloading all the episodes on the podcast.
Maybe.
Because remember, we thought about Darren, but Darren was listening on YouTube.
So, Robin, by the time you listen to us, because we don't know what episodes you're on. I don't know what episode they're on, because we're at 99. So, who knows?
Number 99. Wayne.
Hello, Robin. Thank you for listening.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Thank you to all of our new listeners and also all of our established folks that provide feedback on a regular basis. We really do appreciate it. And I'm glad that you are all listening and enjoying the episode. So I think that's all we have for today. Kim, what's coming up in the coming events section?
So other than Dice Masters versus Cancer, WDA has moved to a 2-week schedule now, just because of attendance. So we've moved to every second and fourth Tuesday going forward, starting in November. And
November now.
Yes, we are in November. So the next one is actually the 14th of November.
Day after this podcast drops.
Pretty much. And we will be doing a practice for Dice Masters versus Cancer. So you can practice before you have to put in your team. And yeah, we're going to start up some a board game thing once a month. So that's filling in one of the other Tuesday slots that are now open. Because of dmNorthTV, we also do board games. And that's about it.
That's about it for upcoming events.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else new? Anything else going on before we close the episode off?
No, other than our next episode is big.
How big?
I'm not going to say 100 in French. 100
because you don't know how to say 100 in French?
I don't know how to say 100 in French.
It's 100.
Oh, see, it's a one thing. Yeah. I don't know. I asked Noah the other day, so what number are you up to in French? 100? I'm like, really? You can count to 100 in French? He's like 70.
I was trying to teach my niece and nephew when I was visiting with them in BC recently. I was like, how high can you count, Hazel? And she's like, I don't know. She was kind of like checked out. She's like a 3-nager. She's going to be 4 soon, but she's like going on 16. She probably rolled her eyes at me. I couldn't see. She was in the back of the car. But anyway, I said, I'm going to teach you to count to 100. I said 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. Then she laughed. So,
and she does it in school. She'd be like, my Auntie Jocelyn told me to do that.
She's still in daycare. They don't have junior kindergarten in British Columbia.
Really? Oh, yeah, so you go straight to just kindergarten and that's it? 1 year done? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was that. So yeah. So other than that, the only other news that I have is I've been learning how to play Magic.
You went to the dark side.
Okay.
But okay. I have a question. Because sure. I know what you're playing, what Magic you're playing. Is it actually a set?
It is a commander deck.
Oh, okay. One?
So
like one? Well, or they have multiple of it?
There are 4. Okay. So they came out with what they call a commander set for Doctor Who, which Rob was interested in. So he picked it up. He picked up the 4 sets. The commander decks are, what do you call them? They're like non-blind, like everything in the box is the same. So you just get the deck. It's got the 100 cards, everything you need to play a commander game. Commander, I guess, is designed for 4 or more players.
Okay.
Or you can play dual format, which is just 1 player on 1 player. Anyway, so I've been learning how to play Magic so that we can play with those cards. And you know what Magic is?
It's Magic?
It's Dice Masters without dice.
Yeah, I've learned to play Magic once. Once?
It's not that hard.
Ever. Mm-mm. If you know how to play different card games, like different,
yeah,
different kinds of TCGs or whatever you want to call them, CCGs or whatever, it's not hard to pick up.
No, I don't think so. I think all of this stuff is very similar. So it's, the one thing that I would say that Magic needs more of is dice rolling. So I think I'm just going to stick with Dice Masters. But I wanted to learn how to play so that at least, we have these decks and we can play with them every once in a while. Because there's nothing wrong with just pulling out a deck of cards and playing a game, right?
Especially when it's already set for you, right? So you don't have to worry about building 100 card deck team.
So I'm not, going to go out there and become a competitive Magic player or anything.
Right.
You're not going to see me at the World Championships or anything.
So it's a kitchen table thing?
Kitchen table thing. And you know what? It's kind of cool. It's okay.
If they ever come out DC, I'll be right there with you. Don't worry.
I mean, apparently they're coming out with Marvel.
Yeah, DC's always the afterthought.
So, anyway. But yeah, other than that, I've just been like traveling for work, and today I spent a whole bunch of hours doing yard work and my body hurts, so.
Now you're going to get to go rest.
Now I'm going to get to go rest, and then I have to go away for work this week, so. Starting tomorrow. But until then, or until the next time we get together, you and I, for the big episode,
100.
Woo-woo. Something super special this way comes. And we look forward to having all of you with us on episode 100, which is coming up in just 2 short weeks from the time that this episode drops. So we look forward to having you. And in the meantime, if you have any feedback or comments or audio clips or anything you want to send us for our 100th episode, anything you want to include or you want us to share or just want to send us presents, I'm okay with that. Just let me know. You can reach out to us in all of the usual places, which include our email address, like Andy May, DDPodcast@dm-north.com. You can find us on Discord, like Matthew and Catarix and Jackalope Spam and True Mr. 6 over at dmNorthTV and the A Double Double and Dice podcast combo channel. You can also at us on Discord. I am at JoceStitch, JoceStitch. Kim is at SuperK, SUPERK. And you are also on all of the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, Threads, TikTok, all of those places.
Threads?
Yeah, I think we're on Threads.
What the heck is Threads?
Threads is the Twitter equivalent that Meta dropped. So it's Facebook and Instagram, but it's Threads. You don't have Threads?
No.
Oh, Kim, you got to get Threads.
I only Facebook. So...
Well, it's probably less things for you to scroll through because honestly, most of the people post the same things on Threads that they post on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So there you go. But anyway, you can reach out to us in all of those places. And you can also leave a note on our episode post over at dm-north.com, our website. So until next time, on A Double Double and Dice.